Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket treadless, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, in the home of the
Welcome, ladies and gents, to season number 6 for the IROC Challenge Series. This year, we're pulling out the trucks, and tonight it's all about the Shootout, live from Daytona International Raceway. I am Repeat, and welcome back. We're going to have just about 25 to 30 truckers out here tonight, where points mean absolutely nothing. It is all about finding a dance partner for next week's Daytona race. Man, what a phenomenal time it's going to be. We're going to have, just about 35 to 40 guys on the full season tonight. Just kind of a race to get used to everybody, and let's go. All right, let's go ahead and get down on track, meet up with some of these guys, see exactly how we're doing as far as the scoring pylon and all that goes, find out who's going to be on your pole just before their 15-minute warm-up session. Let's go. One of the first we'll try to catch up with is one of the guys who was bad fast all last season, talking about driver 23. Everybody's in a great Silverado this season, so the one and only Cook Quick in his Silverado going to come up on the blend line, get ready to put down a monster lap. Again, tonight it really doesn't matter. Tonight it's all about fun, getting to find out who can be pushed by you and who can you push to make sure that when we get to Daytona next week, and it's for literally all the money, you're starting off the season on a positive note. Definitely want to thank everybody that's out there on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and IROC TV through Roku. Welcome again. This is just race number 1 of a phenomenal season we're going to see. Robert Wells out there saying, "It's Pete." Yeah, Mao, it is me. And buddy, welcome back to you and everybody from the EMGG watch party. As always, good to always see you. It's going to be interesting to see how your driver does throughout the season. And I have no doubt in my mind that I'm trying to find him right now. Yeah, there he is. Ryan Crooks right now is yet to actually turn in a lap. Here he is in his machine, up high, wide, and handsome, just trying to carry a whole lot of momentum. See what he's capable of doing. I was watching him in practice. In practice, he was P3 on the board, so I know he's going to be fast. He can definitely hold a steady line. We've seen that all season last year with the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series, which they'll be making their return in late February. So you'll actually get a double dose of Ryan Crooks as the season goes on. So far on top of the board, it's going to be the one and only Aaron Smith in his 70 Spartan Transportation Silverado. So we'll have to see what if that time will hold. So far, it's a 52-12, as you can see there on the scoring pylon. Byron Jones, P number 2. Brandon Mefford, P3. Gabe Ellison, P4. And, well, actually, just as I say that, looks like Brian McCann went up and knocked the 70 off the pole. As far as this driver here, being up on the high side, that's not really going to help him much at all. But now you see he's on the bottom, really, guiding that one machine all the way around that yellow line. So this will be the big lap for him. Again, you see him really holding a very, very steady line right on that yellow and not really leaving it much. He's going to hold it there all the way off of 4 into the trioval. Let's see where he places. All right, so Ryan Crooks, he's going to go P9. So not too shabby whatsoever. Jessica Stubblefield out there saying, "Let's go, Stubbs." Absolutely. So it looks like qualifying is over. We'll have your grid in just a little bit. Now we just got a 10-minute warm-up. So everybody get on out there as the sun begins to set on the World Center of Racing. Again, if you just joined, I am Repeat, and this is the IROC Challenge Series. This year they're racing the trucks, every single one of them in a Spartan Transportation LLC Silverado. It's going to be a phenomenal, phenomenal season. And speaking of the season, we got to definitely give a big thank you to each and every one of our sponsors, starting off with the one and only R&R Racewear, r-rracewear.com, where you can go on over and find out anything you need regarding apparel, hats, diecast, whatever it is. If it's got wheels and it races and they've made a shirt or a hat for it, more than likely you can find it. Or you can also go on over to the Hot Dog Stand podcast on Roku, a place where you can find conversations about several different drivers. They've had Corey LaJoy, they've had so many past drivers. It continues to build, and it's always a great conversation to be had. And then, of course, I mentioned the one and only Spartan Transportation LLC out of Missouri, all the way up and down the eastern coast through the center of the country. Spartan Transportation, anything you need carried, give them a call. Throughout the race, I'll definitely be putting all of their sites and whatnot out there into the chat, follow along, please. It's going to be one hell of a season. All right, so with practice underway so far, Robert Blarney, David Brown, Timothy Stubblefield, Brandon Mefford, and Bill Hales show to be about your top 5 once the pylon warms up. So, chat, who do you have tonight? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be a new guy? Is it going to be one of your champs? The driver of the 3 car. When we're talking about Brian McCann, he did make his return. I was able to chat with him right quick. He's excited for tonight, excited for the season. Each and every one of these guys paid to enter, and at the end of the season, somebody's going to walk away with the lion's share of $5,000, $5,000. And that's no small change. Nothing you can exactly sneeze at or turn your nose away from. Everybody wants a part of the cash. So far, top of the boards with this draft. Joshua Funkhauser in his number 81 Spartan machine, able to take top of the board. So that's always a good sign. 'Cause if you can stay right behind somebody like he's doing with the 00 of Mike Koch, it goes to show that you can push a guy without getting too violent. If you got somebody behind you, or if you're third in line, you're not pushing the pusher, about to cause any kind of a serious issue. But right now, this 3-car tango, these 3 trucks doing all right as far as speeds. Brandon Mefford, Joshua Funkhauser, and Mike Koch, your top 3. Davis, Heislip, Brown, Stubblefield, Reek, Short, and Schofield are your top 10, just as Schofield gets pushed on down to 11th. Just under 6 minutes to go here in this warm-up. Let's actually take a look at what the track conditions are like for this evening. See what the weather's going to be like. Right now, it looks like 72-degree track temp and a 69-degree air temp. So kind of backwards, but you see that sun setting behind. There's no sun beating down on the track, not making it ultra slippery. There we go. So no issues whatsoever, and it's going to make for a whole lot of grip for all of these trucks to complete this race. Again, 25 to 30 trucks going to be out here. So far, only 13, going back to Tim Schofield, have chosen to put a lap down in this warm-up session. Speaking of the 3, there he is, Brian McCann in his blue, I guess you'd call it navy blue, midnight blue Spartan machine. He's going to come on down, practice pit road entry. You see the flames kicking out the side whenever he's downshifting. Whoa it down to about 55 miles per hour, and it looks like he brought the 16 right along with him. That was going to be Robert Blarney as they get to their pit box. Here we got the 2 of Neil Quick and Cook Quick. 23 and the 2 contenders late into the season last season that just ended, 6 weeks ago or so. There they are. They're going to make their practice runs onto pit road. One thing about these trucks, these aren't long runs by any means, but one thing about these trucks, if you do have to make any adjustments while driving with the brake bias and whatever, sometimes you do need to remember to change those back, because when you go to get on the brakes, you'll have an issue. You may actually spin it out and end up with issues, possibly tagging the inside wall or missing pit road altogether and going through the grass. Brian Reek out here, owner of Spartan Transportation, in his number 11 machine, right now sitting P number 7 on the boards. Doing pretty well. A little bit further back is going to be Mike Koch in his double O. Going to loop it around. Maybe have a little fun before it's time to get serious. And that time is coming. 3 minutes to go before we go ahead and grid up and get going. Ryan Ruckerbarlin, I apologize if I mispronounced your last name, saying let's go 12, talking about the 12 of Tim Schofield right here. Schofield right now is, looks like he's sitting about P number 6, about 6/10 off the fast lap that was set by Vincent Short, Brian McCann, and Robert Barney. And again, Ryan, I apologize if I botched your last name, sir. One more, going to go ahead and practice his entry onto pit road. 2 more minutes remaining in this warm-up. Rucker Berlin. I'm glad that I was able to get it. Thanks for letting me know that I didn't botch it too bad. Mike Koch kind of messing around with the part of the road course here in his double O. All kinds of damage to the left side. Maybe just trying a little bit of drifting practice here. Looks like he's kind of following right along. But hey, again, this is just kind of warm up, get ready to go. Because once it's up on track and it's all serious, that's all it is. They got the gloves on, they got those belts pulled tight, they got their wheels calibrated, just ready to go. They got their pedals all set as they're going to go ahead and practice 3 wide here. All right, so warm-up is up. All 9 or 10 minutes in the books. We got 50 laps on tap. Let's go ahead and pull up the grid right now, show you where everybody will be starting. All right, so Brian McCann in that number 3 is going to go ahead and start P number 1. Aaron Smith in his 7 is going to be P2. Byron Jones in that 19 for his first ever start in the Challenge Series, taking a break from the mic, sitting P3. Brandon Mefford, P number 4 to round out row number 2 in his 83. Ryan Honeycutt in his number 18 sitting P5. Gabe Ellison in his 27 sitting P6. Robert Barney in the 16 sitting P7 with David Brown to round out row number 4 sitting P8. P9 Ryan Crooks in that number 1 with Vincent Short P10. P11 is going to be Neil Quick in that deuce. Chris Mefford in the 46 going to go ahead and sit P number 12. P13 as soon as the system decides that it wants to play with me. All right, come on, let's go. Nope, it looks like. All right, hold on. Let's get this right. Gotta love it when tools say not today. But give me 1 second. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can't go ahead and get this up and running. right now. No, looks like the tool is going to have a little bit of an issue, but that's all right. There is your top 12. So we're going to go ahead and clear that. Get ready to roll. What do y'all think? Are you ready to roll? Kick off season number 6. It's the road to 5K starting next week. Tonight, just their shootout. Much like what we're going to see very, very soon in real life. A couple of very short weeks live from Daytona when the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup cars take their turn around this 2.5 mile juggernaut that is Daytona International Raceway. All right, let's go ahead and bring it on up. One more time, go ahead and bring up all your tools. That way you can keep track of where everybody's going to be all night long. And again, big welcome to everybody that's out there. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and IROC TV. Through your favorite Roku device, whether it's a TV itself or your favorite, streaming tablet, whatever. Welcome aboard. All right, so Barney should have the field well in view. Here we go. Truck's about to go ahead and pull off. We're gonna go green. Let's go.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag. All right, so coming off of turn number 4 through the trial at the stripe. It's going to be the 3 of Brian McCann that's going to go ahead and lead the first lap. But up you can see on the high side, the one and only Aaron Smith. He's going to try to give a little bit of a challenge with the 83 of Brandon Medford and company right up there as well for the first 10 rows. Pretty much all side by side, as we're going to go ahead and welcome in my co-host for this entire season, the one and only KS Gaming 51, best known as Swats. Swats, we are live. It's Daytona. It's season 6. There's $5,000 on the line for these IROC truckers. Welcome, sir.
What's going on, Pete, and everybody out there? Sorry for being late, Pete. They had kids. Tonight was the night of kids pulling an HDMI cord and didn't have screen. So I'm glad to be here for Daytona. It's a fast track. I love the action. It's a track where you can be super happy at the end of the night, or you can go home crying because something bad happened early on, or very late in the race. You never know what's going to happen at Daytona. You could think you're going to be perfect all the way through, and somebody just makes a mistake.
Yeah, and whenever somebody makes a mistake here, it's absolutely catastrophic. You hear of the big one anytime we're talking about super speedway racing, whether it's here, Talladega, or anymore, the iRacing Super Speedway fake track created by the sim. But tonight, so far, Kurt, these guys have been absolutely calm. The practice has been calm. The qualifying has been calm. The warm-up has been calm. And so far, still, these guys running side by side. I haven't seen any big dips to try to, or even think about pulling out a line and making it 3 wide. There's no money on the line tonight. There's no points on the line. Tonight, I mentioned earlier, Kurt, it's all about trying to find your dance partner when the season officially starts at Daytona right back here next week.
Yeah, Pete, this is, we're only 4 laps in. I'm not expecting to see a whole lot of drama right off the bat. You'd think guys would be coming out here trying to get used to each other. It's the start of a practice season. Get through this, figure out where people stand, and then, really work towards the next race here at Daytona.
Yeah, and the next race at Daytona is really when the full season starts. This season consists of 18 weeks. Again, brought to us by our sponsors, R&R Racewear, the Hot Dog Stand Podcast, and of course Spartan Transportation LLC that has sponsored not only last year but all season long this year. And oh, by the way, Kurt, they've also chosen to pick up the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series that we'll see at the end of February. But man, I'm actually really glad that you are here. You don't know much about these guys. You know a couple of the drivers in here. You know Byron Jones and maybe one or two others. If I told you that the three dominated the points last year, was able to go ahead and lock down a championship, and you just had to go through the running order, who would you pick out of our 25 to 30 drivers that's going to say, you know what, I'm going into next week with momentum?
I mean, obviously, yeah, there's a few in here that I definitely know. I definitely know the 19, definitely know the 53. There's a few others in here as well. But, I mean, Ryan Honeycutt's one that I've seen in a couple different leagues that's always been really fast. Aaron Smith, I've seen him in a few different leagues. He's obviously really fast. I would think Brian, with him being, the Spartan or the IROC owner, that he'd be coming out here with nothing but, full speed ahead, trying to win every race. And there's several others out here, but, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to give away that curse, and I don't want to go ahead and pick somebody early into the season and have them start thinking that I'm cursing them right away. But, I mean, looking through the field, if I'm looking at any of the cars that are looking like they're really sturdy at Daytona, which is what you want, I mean, I'm kind of liking this 15 back here. I'm loving the paint scheme of it as well.
At 15 right now, Vincent Short sitting in P number 12, actually, P11, and that'll probably continue to change at least 2 or 3 more times before we're finished talking about him, as it looks like the 23 might have thought about taking it 3 wide. I'm sorry, it's actually the deuce of Neil Quick that decided, no, I'm not going to do that. Maybe something for a little bit later on, but right now chose to just go ahead and ride it out as they continue to stay 2 by 2, 5 to 8 rows deep, working lap number 8 of 50. Again, this is just a shootout, Kurt.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, these guys, they're just coming out. They're just getting used to each other. Some of them may know each other. Some of them may have raced against each other last season, things like that. This is a feel-out race is all this is. It's essentially just get out there, run some laps, feel who you're close with, feel who you can draft with, maybe make some new friends, maybe find some old friends, things like that. That's all you're looking for. It's not really, go out here and maybe win the race. Yes, it looks good, to come out and win every race you're in, whether it's a practice race, real race, whatever it is. But I think it's just a learning race is all this is. Guys just need to get to know each other. Yeah,
and they're going to get to know each other very, very well. I mean, they're going to be up each other's tailpipes all night long. I mean, we're on lap 9 of 50 laps tonight. Next week it's a whole lot longer. Next week it's for points. It's for the official start of the season, as we're starting to see a little bit more of a battle on the inside. It looks like the one of Ryan Crooks up 7 spots right now. He was able to go up high and then move on back down low, and he's got a mirror full of Ryan Honeycutt in that 18, just absolutely shoving him. Move the 1 to the point.
Yeah, I'm liking the 18. I'm loving what he's doing for pushing. You can see him swaying back and forth, but that's because he's right on the back bumper, trying to push that 1, and it's just, swinging that rear end around. Pete, we both know from super speedway racing, the air can definitely play a factor in this. Sometimes you can hit your mark every single time, and that little bit of air difference, whether you're just to the outside of the right fender, just to the inside of the left fender, it throws that spoiler off and packs air in certain spots of the truck, and it just moves it around and wiggles it.
Absolutely, but you got to really try to do your best to control those wiggles. If you end up too far over left or too far over right on that back bumper, you're going to send someone around. And if it's as far up as these guys are, where the 1, the 18, the 3, the 16, the 19, or any of these guys, you're going to end up in that big one. You're going to collect the field. And oh, by the way, it's going to hurt your chances to run out of here with a solid finish. Talking about a solid start, maybe possibly working on a solid finish. Byron Jones right now at P number 3 in that 19. He is literally right where he started, so nothing gained, nothing lost for Byron. We're doing all right, hanging up top amongst everybody else. doing one whale of a job shoving that 3 as hard as he can.
Yeah, I mean, Byron's become a long way from that kid that we met a long time ago,
Yeah.
Pete.
Oh, yeah.
That, was kind of a dangerous kid on the track sometimes, and then just progressively got better and better and better, and has worked on it for a few years now since we've known him, Pete. And he's become a racer that I want to be next to. I want to have pushing me. I want to have up in the front of a field and not be worried. You get some of those guys in league races where you are worried about being around them. He is not one of them now.
No, not at all. Like you said, we've known Byron Jones for a very, very long time. When Byron first started racing, he was using a laptop that can barely meet the specs for iRacing or to run iRacing. He was able to see the wall, the track, a couple cars, and that was it. He went out and got himself a brand new gaming PC. He's running triples. Now he's really come into his own as a great racer, a great graphic designer for hero cards and paint schemes and all that. I mean, he does a phenomenal job, and yeah, like you, I'm glad to I'm glad to share the track with him when I can, and I'm actually kind of glad that he chose to step away from the mic, broadcasting the races with me to show what he can do behind the wheel of this number 19 all season long. So I definitely wish that kid a whole lot of luck, and go Byron.
I mean, same here, Pete. If he hadn't chosen to go to the track, he would be sitting here next to you right now in the booth. So I'm happy he went to the track. I think it's a good week for him. I think he has a great opportunity, great chance to really show and showcase his skills and go for the money. I mean, I can't say right off the bat early on in the season that he's not somebody that I'm going to be paying attention to finish in the top 5, finish in the top 3, maybe even pull off a win with this around the field that we have. I think Byron is one of those drivers that he's the new, young, up-and-coming kid. I mean, Pete, we're at an age where it gets to a certain point and you start realizing that the kids that you were playing with before that are 14, 15, 16, 17, now they're really starting to get good, and you're just becoming the old-timer that rides in the back. And that's where I feel, so that's why I'm in the booth.
I'm right there with you. My days on NASCAR Heat and all that, NASCAR 09, whatever, when I was super aggressive on the controller, yeah, sure, no problem. But these guys are a little bit closer to the real deal on one hell of a realistic feeling sim, and I couldn't compete with a lot of these guys. Jennifer Ray out there saying, let's go Stub Nation, talking about the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield, just a little bit further in the back. We'll try to actually ride on board with him right now, see exactly what he's seeing. Caution's out, 18's around.
Woo. And that's what we were talking about, Pete. 18 is somebody I was watching there wiggling. He was doing a good job pushing, but he was wiggling an awful lot, and I don't know if maybe, I think it's the 2 or the 20 might have gotten into him there.
All right, well, let's see. It looks like it's going to be a solo spin. I don't think anybody else was collected. Let's go on up, find out exactly what happened, if there was a little bit too much contact to the front or the back, or if he had to check up and, there was just no give anywhere around him. Let's see if we can find out right now.
Might be an apron pull, too.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of got bulldogged a little bit by the 16, but looks like the 16 doesn't have any real damage on the front end of his machine. So if he did push that 18 around, I don't think either of them are going to be really too worse for the wear. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back live. All right, so right now Ryan Crooks is up in the top spot. I know I saw Ryan out here earlier. Ryan driving for EMGG, one of the bigger gaming clubs that I think I've ever come across. Let's see if I can't pull Ryan on up to chat with us right quick. Ryan, it's Repeat and Swats up at the booth, bud. You got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, Ryan, here you are, man. You're up 8 spots since the beginning. You've got the pace truck in front of you. Is this going to be a two and burn, or are you going to come on down for 4? I'm sure everybody's going to come on down for fuel. If you want to mute me while you're coming down pit road, please feel free.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, we got to take 4 here. I think we're gonna have to fill up all the way on gas. So might as well take 4 since we're gonna be here long enough. It's gonna be really close on gas. I still think we're gonna have to stop again, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out.
So how are you feeling about the track so far this evening? It seems like some people are doing a little bit more juking around than others, but you've been pretty solid. Not only in the first opening laps of this race, but in practice, saw you holding a pretty wheel all the way around. We're keeping up with you in qualifying a little bit as well, and here you are. You're going to come out because it looks like about 4 people stayed out or just decided to pit second time around. But how are you feeling about your chances in this shootout, sir?
Yeah, I really like it. I love plate racing. Always, that's what I grew up going to Dega. So I love plate racing. Always kind of just fascinated with how the air works. I had to make some adjustments. I feel like on the offset of the wheel. Just anytime you get a push from behind, the truck really wants to jump to the right. So I made some adjustments there just to kind of make it feel more comfortable when getting pushed. Because of course you're gonna have to get pushed if you're gonna have a shot at winning. But yeah, it feels good. I felt like the pack was pretty calm for the most part, at least from my view. Looked like just a couple of trucks got together behind me. I thought I was going to get clipped in the right rear, but luckily made it out. So all is well, man. I feel good. Hopefully we've got to just keep it together in one piece, and we're there at the end. We got a shot.
All right, last question, sir. I'm not sure if you know any of the other drivers in this series. As I see, the pace truck lights are still on. Is there anybody that you're looking for in that rear view to possibly give you that winning shove?
Yeah, I know Brian's fast. Worked with him in practice a little bit, and I believe Robert Barney, I worked with him when I first joined. We worked together pretty well, and he was pushing me there for a couple laps. And really, it's just all about, you want to stay out front. Staying out front kind of keeps you from getting involved in any of the trouble. You want to keep good track position. So Barney got behind me. He had a couple opportunities to go high and try to lead the second line. He stayed behind me, so yeah, hopefully Barney just hooks up and stays behind me. I know a couple guys in here, but yeah, we work really well with Barney.
All right, Ryan. Again, big congratulations on a great start to the shootout. What team comp can I get you back down into, sir?
To be honest with you, I think I was at like 14.
All right.
I think I was by myself. Yeah, just dropped me off somewhere.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck. Keep it going. Keep the shiny side up, and of course, we'll check in with you later.
Thanks, Pete.
You got it, buddy. All right. So Swats. He absolutely sounds extremely optimistic, and he's got to feel pretty good about his start to the race so far.
Yeah, and I mean, Pete, if this is the same Ryan Crooks that I know from Shake and Bake, which I'm assuming
it is. Yep.
I've seen him out front in so many different races. I've seen him, swinging back and forth in different races, trying to get up to the front. He's very, very skilled. He maneuvers through the crowd very well. He said he really likes restrictor plate racing. He really likes the super speedways. So I mean, this kind of folds right into his hands, and we'll see if he can make it back towards the front or get to the front and maybe lead this thing around here for a finish lap. But I wouldn't put it past Ryan to be right there at the end in the top 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him either. He doesn't have any teammates in this. Last season, he had James Holzer as a teammate, as you mentioned, in Shake and Bake. So here he's all alone. Pace truck is pulling off. Kurt, here we go one more time. Let's go back green.
Love the sound of these trucks roaring as they get through the gear speed. These things get up to speed, and you can see everybody trying to just get through, shift, get through the line. Don't hold up the line. You don't want to miss the shift. You got to be smooth with it. 1/10 of being slow on your shift can really hurt your speed going into the corner. And you see the 51 right here going on the outside already through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, 51's going to go ahead and throw it high, try to get through. I don't know, Kurt. I think this might be a little too early for that. It's not something that was practiced. A couple guys going to come on up as he just barely scrapes that outside wall, taking a little bit of the lettering off that Daytona sign, and he's got nobody at all going with him. Maybe a little bit of a case of don't push the pusher between the 7, 15, and 11 as the 3 is going to take the clear lead.
Yeah, he's going to go a little bit backwards. It's a little early, but I mean, if he had the run, if he would have had help, I mean, if the 7 would have stayed behind him, they may have gone up, at least up to the front. But I mean, going 3 wide this early in a race is usually frowned upon. But I mean, we're 20 laps in. We're almost coming up on the halfway point, 5 laps short of it, Pete. I'm both ways. It might be early, but it might not be early. Somebody might not have been expecting it, or somebody didn't shift right. Like I said, 1/10 of too slow of a shift can definitely throw the momentum off for the next guy behind you, and that's what looked like to me. Maybe the guy in front of him did not get through his shift cleanly, and he got a run to the outside. It's no help.
I'll tell you what, one of the guys that you mentioned in the very beginning when I said, just go ahead and pick a name, pull a name out of the old rabbit hat, and you said Brian Reek. Well, here he is. He's put that 11 up front, and if I'm not mistaken, he would have just led that lap if it mattered for anything this evening, but he's got a good battle on his hands with the 15 of Vincent Short to his outside. So 7-11 Trick saying, good evening all, let's go V Short up to the front.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I'm not surprised to see Brian up here. I mean, he is the owner-admin of IROC TV. Obviously, Pete, we've been very blessed to be able to brought into that group when it was a different name than when Brian and his group bought it out. They kept us all in here, and it's been a fun ride with these guys. And I, like I said, if you don't become an owner-admin of a league and start out the season with wanting to finish in the back. You want to be a top guy, and Brian, I don't see him finishing, or at least being in the top 5, or outside the top 5, at least for the most part here, unless something happens towards the end.
Yeah, and I gotta agree. I mean, Brian Reek, he's actually recovering from being very sick for a little while, and I talked to him a little bit just before the race kicked off. I said, man, I hope you're getting your on the mend, and he said, man, I'm going to see how tonight's going. Well, anytime you're leading the race is feeling a whole lot better. You're feeling 100%. You've got that throttle to the floor, and you're doing everything you can. But oh, by the way, he's got one of the best pushers in the series right behind him, talking about champion Brian McCann.
I mean, going to the front and leading when you're not feeling good outside of the racing group, it makes you feel like $1 million. It makes you feel like you get up there and you can do anything. You can race with anybody. You can, pull off a win. It gives you so much more confidence and brightens your day if you're not feeling good. So hopefully Brian can start feeling better. And I'm sure right now, looking out that windshield, being in the front is definitely and at 99, I mean, he's a very good pusher. I'm looking at him. He's staying like within that little bubble. He's right on the edge of it. He's not going too much onto him, so where he's not, overheating, but he's not staying off of him too much, to where he's not giving him help to push him. And that's why the 3 is staying right there with the 7, or the 11, sorry, is on the outside with the 3 pushing him. That whole group right there is looking really, really close compared to the other on the outside. And look behind them; they're gapped.
Oh yeah, but not by much though. These top 4 on the bottom side, they're going to have just a little bit more momentum. But the 7 on the high side is absolutely just about connected to that 15 as soon as they exit the corner. He's just getting a great run with a little bit of momentum coming off the hill on this 33-degree banking from Daytona as they go screaming down the backstretch. There they go, connecting one more time. A little bit of a wobble between them, but as you can see, it's a little bit of separation now between the 7 and the 15, so the bottom side is going to go ahead and surge just a little bit. One hell of a battle out there in Facebook. I'm sorry, YouTube. JR saying let's get him 44. Talking about, I just saw him a moment ago. Talking about Matt Henry up here a little bit. There he is. He's 3rd in line on the high side in that mustard colored Silverado.
I'm watching the bottom line, and the front 3 are staying really close to each other, but there's some gaps between the guys that are on the bottom line, and I think that's what's holding up the front 3 or 4, as you see the 2 now close back in on the 99. But looking back from the 2, I haven't seen somebody on his back bumper or within a couple feet of his back bumper for at least a couple laps. So whoever's in that orange truck right behind him, I think it's Neil Quick, is staying off of him.
Yeah, the 81, if that's the one that the 81 of Joshua Funkhauser, if that's the one you're talking about, he has got, he's got to see what's happening. He's got to see that those 4 in front of him are stacked tight. very little movement between, not much room to let those trucks breathe. That might also be the other reason why they're either kicking low or kicking high just a little bit on the straightaways. Got to get these trucks to breathe, otherwise they will blow.
Yeah, and I mean, you could ride behind a guy tight for maybe a couple laps, and then you'll start to see that temperature be way too high. And you just gotta, I mean, you don't have to back off of them. You don't have to put a half car or a car length between them. You just gotta get right to the corner of them, but you can't be touching them when you get to that corner, because we've seen accidents happen when guys get too close in the corners, and that little bit of bobble, or the guy in front of him lets off just a little bit, so he doesn't run over the guy in front of him, and you mistime it, and that guy in the middle just goes for a ride.
Yeah, and that is definitely not a ride that you want to go through, because usually at these speeds it doesn't end good, Kurt.
I mean, if we're looking at right now and say the 3 goes around, you're looking at pretty much, I would say, at least maybe 3/4 of the field being involved in this, if the guys in the back can slow down enough. But I mean, if the 3 goes around right now from the 99, or the 99 goes around from the 2, it's catastrophe. And I don't know, I didn't pay attention to the rules, Pete. Do they have fast repairs tonight or not?
I don't believe they have fast repairs, no. And last season they had stages.
They got warm.
Yep, you're right. They do. Last season they had staged. I believe that they've also taken the stage break out of certain tracks, if not all. I'll have to go through and double check. But man, Kurt, 23 laps in. 23 laps to go, rather, and they are going just about caution-free. 1 wreck, and that's it. Not bad. I mean, they've got a good group of core drivers that have come back from season number 5. This is the start of season 6. You got these guys racked and stacked all back up, and no real issues. That just goes to show the quality of drivers here in the IROC Challenge Series. They brought out the trucks again this season. Last season was the Xfinity cars. I'm definitely looking forward to watching the way that these guys race these trucks all season long.
Yeah, and Pete, I'm watching a specific driver because he was involved in that first incident, the 18 of Ryan Honeycutt. He was in the back of the field when that restart happened. He's actually up midway right now in 14th. And he's picking them off one at a time. He's not in a hurry. He's not rushing about it. He's not, being super aggressive. I haven't seen him go really, bad 3 wide. In my opinion, there's good 3 wide and there's bad 3 wide for sure. But I mean, when he gets the spot, he's taking it, but it's not really in a bad area, or the cars are side by side. He's kind of got a big enough gap. If you look back there, between the 81 and him, there's a wide enough gap for a truck. So he's been just moving up through one at a time. He's looking at the truck in front of him now. If he can time it right, he can get to the middle. But he's got to have draft help in the middle. Right now, he can pull draft off the 2 because the 2's riding about midway up the track in the corners.
Catching a few of the sights and sounds of these truckers with a few of the different cameras. You really get a sense of speed when you're riding along on the windowsill of this number 18 for Ryan Honeycutt. Is way back, able to see everybody up ahead of him. He's got the 81 underneath. He's right behind the 23 of Cook Quick, Joshua Funkhauser, Gabe Ellison, and a couple others all the way around. Looks like he's going to try to take that 3 wide. Nope. Thinks better of it. Pops back up in line. They're running out of laps. Kurt, 20 to go.
Yeah, and I mean, this is about the point. If you're more than 10th back, you're looking at starting to try to pick them off one at a time. Like he didn't waste a whole lot of time, but he wasn't super aggressive, like I said. So if you're anywhere from 10th on back, you've got to start moving to the front. 20 laps at Daytona, it seems like a lot because it takes 50 seconds to go around this thing, but they come off real quick, and there's not a whole lot of room to get by guys. So you've got to be, real precise on how you make your move. You got to do it quick enough before we get to 5 to go, because 5 to go is not a time to go from 10th to 20th to try to get up to the top 5. It's just not doable without being too quick. That's the last thing these guys want to see at the front.
Yeah, no, it's not something that you want. And with 5 to go, that's where the adrenaline picks up. Looks like the 15 came down across the 11's nose, and we are going to drop back big time, huge wreck. It's going to collect a dozen cars at least.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars involved in this one. I mean, and I know I was sitting there talking about 10th, 15th, and 20th trying to move up, but that doesn't mean the guy in 5th isn't going to try to make some moves to get to the front either. So I think that was just, somebody made a little mistake there and got turned around. But, I mean, I'm not super surprised, Pete. I mean, we've got less than 20 to go. Some guys see that 20 mark to go, and they say that's, time to turn it on.
All right, let's get back up to the top. I mean, we saw it live. 15 and the 11 just kind of tangoed a bit. Came across the 11's bumper, and everything we saw ensued. So let's go ahead and try to replay that back right now. We'll go ahead and actually stop that, and we'll go ahead and rewind it just a little bit. There you see the 44, and let's get back up with the 15, and we'll see if we can find out exactly what happened with that back bumper of his. Let's go. So you see the 7 really, really tight on him. Did he move up just a little bit too much? Nope, 15 just decided he was going to try to come on down. Maybe his spotter said clear for a moment, but Kurt, we know with the closing rates of these trucks, when that spotter says clear, it's for that split second. You've either got to make that move or you don't, and that was all she wrote. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back live. So driver 7 now in the lead, talking about David Brown. Don't recall seeing David Brown earlier, but I have a feeling he's going to come on down pit road. Maybe top off, maybe not. Survey says nope, he's going to keep that. No, here we go. All right, he's going to dive on to pit road in that number 7 Spartan Transportation Silverado and go ahead and I would imagine maybe just top it off or only take the fuel that he needs in order to go the remaining 17 laps. Kurt, with all the tools that these guys got for them, whether it's SDK or sim apps or whichever, you can actually take just the amount of fuel that you need as there you go, in and out. There he goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different types of widgets and apps and things like that you can download and use between sim racing apps, SDK. I mean, there's so many different ones. I prefer sim racing apps. I think it's a little more closer. SDK, it's a lot of coding for me to figure out how to do the fuel. But sim racing apps, to me, is the one to use. But some guys just don't use them. I've heard guys that I've known racing for 3-4 years now, and they're like, oh, I didn't know my fuel was going to run out. I'm like, how do you not know that? Do you not have something up? And they're like, no, I've never used it. I'm like, I don't know how you race without it because I couldn't. So it's just it's odd to see it, but there is a lot of guys out there who definitely use them. And I've seen guys' screens where they are packed full of different widgets, from temperature gauges to fuel mileage to standings to pit strategy calls on there. There's everything you can think of. There's guys with flags that pop up. There's guys with arrows to let them know that there's guys to their left or right or whatever. I've just seen so many different ones packed with every type of widget you could think of, and it's crazy. Absolutely.
So we see the 18 of Ryan Honeycutt now up in the front. Let's see if we can't pull him right quick. Ryan, it's Repeat and Swats in the booth, but you got a copy in that Silverado.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, bud, you had a little bit of an issue earlier. Just a single spin. You were able to keep it off all walls, and here you are staying out when others have come on down pit road. We're going to go back green with 15 to go, sir. Can you get it done? Can you hold the field behind you?
Yeah, I think so. I just wanted to stay out and get in front of all that traffic again. I got like 4 extra laps of gas, so they probably pitted for green, white checkers, but I'm banking on no green, white checkers because can't really afford them. But if we stay green, then maybe I can hold them off. Good to go.
All right, buddy. Well, I see the lights atop the pace truck are out. Definitely wish you a whole lot of luck. Keep the shiny side up, and we'll be talking to you again for a great podium finish. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
You got it. All right, so we got him back down with his team comms. Kurt, what do you think about this 1879 of Timothy Stubblefield to his outside?
I mean, I did say the 18 was one of the drivers that I was watching when you said pick somebody.
You did.
And I've been kind of watching him as he got spun there. He went to the back. He worked his way up to about 10, 14, somewhere in there. And, I mean, because of that incident that he had on track, he was able to get enough fuel to where he didn't have to come down. Tires are not a play here. It's not something we really watch unless it was 100 laps of straight running on the tires. You might come down for tires then, but I think it's a good call. I think it's you want to be out front. The only problem is got to watch the rearview mirror 100% because guys will try to make moves, and you got to defend if you can.
Well, talking about making moves, green flag's coming back out. There it is, Kurt. Green flag's out. Barney's going off. Let's go.
Ryan gets a good jump here. 79 on the outside, trying to stick with him, but you can see the 18's pulled him by about a half car in front of him. But that line's going to come right back as the 7 gets right on the back bumper of the 79 and pushes them side by side with the 18 as they go through 1 and 2 coming off 2. It's going to be a drag race down the backstretch to see if the 79 does get down in front of the 18, Pete.
Oh, actually, yes, 79 is going to get down in front of the 18. The 7's going to be able to go ahead and lead the outside line for the first time all night long. He's got the deuce of Neil Quick right now sitting P3 on that high side. Let's see if the 2 can shove that 7 as well as the 7 was able to push the 79. You see the 84, the 81, you see the 3, and so many other very, very strong cars out there in chat. Jessica Stubblefield saying, let's go Stub Nation.
Yeah, Pete, I mean, we've got 15 to go, 14 to go as they come across. It's go time. If you're not at the front, it's time to go to the front. Find somebody, whether it's somebody that you know or don't know or been pushing with or been pushing you. Find somebody and go if you can. And I'm looking back here at the 19, Pete, that's towards the back of the field. He's come from the back before on super speedways and actually has a win in a all-star race that we did over in Turn Down for What. So I'm looking for him to take it 3 wide, get somebody to get on his back bumper and follow him and push him right to the front if he can find somebody in that back of the field to go. But they're 3 wide back there right now.
Yeah, 3 wide. You see the one of Ryan Crooks. Crooks is actually pushing that 19 of Byron Jones that we were talking about, and this could be good for them. I mean, not only are they going to race against each other here next week, but they're also going to race against each other in the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series that kicks off on February the 27th. So it might be good for these two to work together, see exactly how each other races, how they can hold the line and do their own thing. 3 getting shuffled out of line, 3 going to the back. That's Brian McCann.
Yeah, and I'm kind of shocked that Brian got shuffled out there, but I mean, it only takes somebody to get to the outside and give you a little bit of a tap and get down on the apron and just not go back up the track. So he did a good job there. But Pete, the 19, I'm surprised he didn't go 3 wide there. He had a big run with the 1 pushing him. He had room to the outside of the car in front of him. He just didn't take it. Now he's to the middle, and Pete, the middle is not where you want to be.
No, middle's not where you want to be. Daytona can handle 3 wide, but it's not as wide as a track as, say, Talladega, where you can easily do that lap after lap everywhere you want to go. No issue at all. Daytona's just a little bit narrower, so you really have to mind your P's and Q's. You got to be able to hold that very, very steady line. You can't move around as much as some of these trucks have all night long, but Kurt, I think their patience is wearing thin. 12 to go. By the way, guys and girls out there in chat, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or IROC TV through your Roku, if you want to follow these guys on Facebook, there you can see next to the 12 to go logo, it says iRacing IROC. Give these guys a follow. You'll be able to keep up with everything that happens all season long throughout their truck series, their dirt series, and everything else that IROC has their hands in. Go give them a follow. Keep up to date. You won't be sorry.
And Pete, the 19 going 3 wide right through the middle section between the 11.
Yeah,
he's gonna make it with the 1 pushing him.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Well, he stays in it. Not so well for the guy on the outside, but 19's gonna keep going here with the 1 on the back bumper. The 18 trying to push the 79. Stub Nation should be happy and proud right now with that 79 out front with the 7 to the outside of him, but Byron and the 1 are coming from the back, just like I said, Pete.
Byron found a hole. He made a hole, and he is on his way. Move that 19 at the expense, I believe that was, of the 83 up to P number 3 on the high side, right behind the 2 of Neil Quick. You see Peyton Davis and Justin Heislip up there as well. But yeah, that 1 shoved them all the way through. That was usually we're talking about the middle as being a sucker hole. Not so much. Made great gains all the way through there.
Yeah, he had a massive run into there with the 1 pushing him, and he just decided to go for it. And that quick reaction, that's what we were talking about with, the spotter clearing you. You've got to go when that spotter says go. You cannot delay. That split second causes an incident, just like we saw with the 15 going across the road. I don't know if he got the clear from a spotter, but he went for it because he knew he had the momentum with the 1 pushing him.
Absolutely riding on board right now with Neil Quick in this deuce. You see how steady his hands are on the straightaways, getting into the corner, trying to hold on. A little bit of movement back and forth as it looks like the 18 and the 79 on the bottom side. Top side just not quite as formed up. Again, big push. You see Brown's truck wiggle from the contact going into turn 3.
Yeah, Pete, we almost had an incident towards the back of the field. There was a car up in the wall. He brought it down off the wall and came in contact with another guy. So that was very close to having an incident there, but they were able to hang on to it. So no cautions. We've got 9 to go, Pete, and they are getting busy out at the front. Absolutely
busy at the front. 7 getting a shove that he almost couldn't handle. You saw him have to save it, and great job in doing so. If he was to wreck on the outside and possibly clip the right rear of the 79, you would see a catastrophic wreck, which some people, hey, that's what the racing is all about. Whoa!
I saw it coming. I thought the 2 and whoever was right behind him was pushing a little too hard, and it got him sideways, and he tried to hold on to it. Wiggled the car, hit the apron, and it spun right back up front. And I think that just took our good buddy, the 19, out of this race.
I tell you what, you're talking about the 19 of Byron Jones. Usually when we see a launch like that, well, what we just saw from the 2, he says that is the next candidate for the SpaceX program, and that's exactly what that was. Let's see if we can go back and find out exactly what happened with Byron Jones. All right, since it's a little bit further up, we'll go ahead and rewind that just a little bit the manual way. As we're gonna be able to watch this whole wreck unfold. Let's go ahead and stop it and let's play it. 3 wide behind him, a few rows back, but coming up off the corner, melee. Nowhere to go. Holes closed all the way around. Only a few lucky ones able to work their way through, Kurt. Wow. All right, so at the front of this, chat's going to be a little bit happy, especially Jennifer Ray saying, let's go Stub Nation. Right now, the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield is going to have Ryan Honeycutt, David Brown, Justin Heislip, and Vincent Short as your top 5. And oh, by the way, Kurt, I believe they'll stay out.
Yeah, and Pete, I mean, it was pretty hectic back there towards the 3rd row there with the 2 and the 19. I was trying to figure out what caused it there, but it looked like the 19 might have gave a shove. But the 84 did come up and wiggle, and I wasn't sure if he made a contact with the 2. I'm not seeing it.
Well, tell you what, let's grab the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield, see what he's thinking about the remaining laps that are left and what he just saw in his rear view. Let's see. Mr. Stubblefield, it's Repeat and SWAT's up in the booth, but you got a copy in that 79.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you got a huge following out here in chat. Everybody pulling for Stub Nation. These closing laps have had to have been pretty hectic. You've seen shoves and seen trucks getting a little squirrely, and just now you saw a huge one in your rear view. What do you think about these final 3 or 4 laps Can you hold them all at bay, even with Ryan Honeycutt starting to your outside?
Yeah, I hope he's giving me good old runs, bumps every chance he gets. I hope I can keep it straight and keep it clean, and hope it costs that line in first place.
If he can give you some decent shots, are there any adjustments you can make on the inside of that truck to help your tailgate take those pushes so you don't get all kinds of slideways or possibly spun around?
Yeah, just keep the wheel straight as possible, hung on, because of course you get a little bump, it wants to get loose on you. So if I can keep it straight, we'll be good.
All right, buddy. Well, again, you got a lot of people out here, Jessica Stubblefield and others, absolutely pulling for you. Keep that shiny side up. Tonight is all about finding out who you can dance with or who you're going to be able to dance with next week. Have you got an idea who you want to work with when the points really start to matter?
Work with the 18 right now. He's doing me good, so might work with him.
All right, but I'll get you on back down into team comms. Good luck. Go get him. Keep the shiny side up, and maybe we'll talk to you for a podium finish here very shortly.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. All right, so again, Tim Stubblefield restarting. He's going to have the entire field behind him. Swats, do you want to be him, or do you think he is a sitting duck?
I mean, I know we were sitting there talking with him about the 18 being behind him, but it's actually the 7, and the 7's been a very good pusher. The 99 just caused that incident right there with pushing too hard. So if I was the 79, I'd be happy that I have the 7 and not the 99. If I'm the 18, I might be a little worried. But we've seen the outside line coming around through 1 and 2 get a massive run, and that front car on the outside row has been able to get down in front of the bottom row. That's how Stubblefield got the lead, was going from the outside with the 7. So those two are paired right back up again from the outside now on the inside row. I'm not sure. The 7 seems to be really good at pushing, really fast. But if the 99 can push the 18, it just depends on if he gets a big enough push and gets down in front of him. If he does, I think it's over for the 79 at that point. If he can stay in front of the 18 and not let the 99 push the 18 past him and have that 7 get on the back bumper, then I think he's okay. But I don't know who the 7 is. I've never seen the 7 before, so I don't know if he's going to be super aggressive either. That's kind of the target spot, is that first spot. So I'd watch out if I was anybody.
Well, here we go. We are going to go ahead and restart it off one more time from Timothy Stubblefield, 79 Silverado from the beginning, up 24 spots. Can he finish it? Let's go.
Yeah, Pete, the 99 gave a big shove to the 18 right as they were about to get on the gas. The 18 did not get going, which allowed the 7 and the 79 to link up on the bottom and get going and clear everything. Now the 18, because of that gap that they created at the front,
here it
the 18
comes.
was getting from the outside to the bottom.
Yep, I really thought with the 18, there it is. I thought the 18 was going to go ahead and pull up a little bit sooner than he did. That's going to shove one truck down below the line. That's going to be the 1. Wow, all over the back end of this 7.
Three wide.
Yep, 3 wide, a little bit further back. Move Ryan Crooks up to P3, right behind the 7 of David Brown. Brown's been blinking out just a little bit. Can his connection stay solid enough? 2 to go this time.
I mean, that 18
3 to
got
go.
shuffled from the front of the outside row to the second spot in the outside row. He was able to get right in between the 15 that went by him. But, I mean, I did say the 15, I think, as well, was one of the drivers I was watching.
Yep, you did.
So I'm picking the drivers to go up front without knowing them. Last time I did that, I picked the winner without knowing a single person in the field, and I believe that was over in, the one on Thursday that we were doing, SRN.
Yep.
First race I did there, I picked a driver that I didn't even know who he was, never seen a race, never saw a driver in the field, and he won the race. So maybe I'll have that same luck tonight. 15 might thank me at the end of the race. No, never mind. Honeycutt going for it.
Yep, Honeycutt's going to go ahead and try it out. Can he do it? Nope, he's not. Chris Wally up on the high side. He tried, thought he had a little bit of a run. Nothing doing. 79 is going to be able to hold on. 2 laps remaining. More and more pushing behind him.
Whoa, stay in green. Oh, guy came right back up the track off the apron. That was not a good move.
Nope, not at all. Justin Highslip and others going to be part of this.
Whew.
I tell you, you're sighing. Jessica Stubblefield out in chat saying nail biter, man. Also, Stony Benfield saying don't count out McCann and Wally. Wally was going to try a run up on the high side, just fell a little short. Kurt, we're going to have a green-white checker, at least one attempt here for the shootout. Would you have imagined this? I mean, come on.
I mean, come on, it's Daytona. When have we not seen a green-white checkered? That's why I said the last 10 laps, everybody kicks it in, they turn it on, the aggression goes way up, it goes to the top of the meter. There is no difference between the last 10 laps and that final lap. It is all the same of aggression. It does not stop.
Not at all, and you can't blame him. I mean, again, tonight there's no points on the line. Will we see this kind of aggression next week? I would say yes, because there's points at the end of the season. You're talking about a lion's share of $5,000. So absolutely, yeah, you have to go and take every possible spot that you can. So the 79, Timothy Stubblefield, he is still out front. He was able to hold everybody at bay right there. Right now it's showing Timothy Brown sitting in P number 2. I don't see where he's actually available to chat with us. And we spoke with Ryan Honeycutt earlier. We also spoke with Ryan Crooks. So it's the Ryan and Ryan show for the second row, and then a little bit further back, you see the 70 of Aaron Smith. We've talked with Aaron Smith before. You just mentioned SRN a little bit ago, and yeah, he was part of that series as well. But unfortunately, I don't see where he's available to chat with us right now either. So, Kurt, this is the IROC Challenge Series, and man, if they're racing, if they're this up on the wheel tonight for just a shootout, it means nothing except for maybe a little momentum, a little bit of pride, maybe a little bit of bragging rights. What's the rest of this 18-week season going to be like?
Well, it's going to be a challenge. They don't call it the IROC Challenge for no reason. So, I think once the season starts, you might see a little, leeway there at the beginning of a season, but as that season ticks on and points are starting to add up and people are starting to get, into certain situations where they need those points to move on or move up, to be in contention for the money, you're going to see the give and take go way down. It's not going to be anywhere close to what it would be. I mean, we're laughing about, how the aggression is right now and what is considered to be just a, fun run.
Right.
But how many fun runs have we seen end in caution after caution after caution? Because guys do not care. They go for it. There is no fun run part of it to where, if that guy wins, I'm okay. No. Every person in this race wants to win. There is no, I'm okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. You're out here because you're a competitor. You don't want to be taken out for somebody's I want the win. You want somebody to race you how you're going to race them. Now, if you race them dirty, or if you become, you get the reputation for not exactly, running the cleanest line, or making the unnecessary contact to the left or the right rear or the wrong side of the bumper, then yeah, people are going to race you in a different manner altogether. But everybody wants to win at Daytona. Everybody here paid their entry fees. They don't want to be run any kind of a ragged way. And the lights atop the pace truck are out. We're about to find out if this 79 can hold off. Now he will have that 18 behind him. The 7 truck, he's going to be on the outside with the 1 of Ryan Crooks as well. So some pretty stout competition up front. And it seems like we're talking about names already that we've been talking about all night long.
Yeah, and if I'm the 7, I'm super happy, but I'm also scared to death because Ryan is a very good pusher, Ryan Crooks.
Yes.
In that 1. But he is also a very skilled driver, and if he sees the slightest opening, I don't know if the 7's going to be ready for it when that 1 goes. But if he stays behind him, we'll see if they can go to the front. I don't know on a green-white checkered if you're going to give that or not. I mean, I've heard a lot of guys say, I wanted to push him to the win. I took second. But this doesn't mean anything, so why not go for the win? So I see Ryan looking for the slimmest gap he could get and trying to go around. And he better hope the guys behind him go with him, or else he's going to go to the back.
Well,
in a short 3 laps.
We saw the one come up through the center, shoving Byron Jones earlier. Is he possibly hoping that someone will take that with him? Did he just see the 51 up on the high side, and maybe is he thinking that he wants to get up there as quickly as possible? We're about to find out. Coming off of turn number 4, Pace Truck's going to go ahead and make that left turn down pit road. The IROC Challenge Series Shootout at Daytona is going to get back underway. Let's go.
79 gets a great jump. 18 sticking with him there. The 1 and the 7 did not get fired off like I thought they would, but so many times that happens, and then all of a sudden those 2 cars on the outside just come flying around, and one of them ducks down to the bottom. But look at the bottom 3 cars, or trucks. They're pretty much nose to tail, Pete, and there's only 2 on the outside on the top lane. There's a huge gap between 1 and 2 right now.
You know what? I tell you what, out there in chat they're saying don't sleep on Cook Quick. And he may have a huge run if he can time it just right, because that gap is so big. But he actually went ahead and took that bottom line, and he's going to have a little bit of help from behind. Can Cook get on up there and maybe try a last lap pass? So far, the momentum says yes, but I think that hole may close.
I think the 18 was really thinking about jumping up in front of the 7 right there. It looked like he was
3
trying
wide.
to move up and then came back down.
3 wide, 18, does he have the left signs down below the yellow? 1 truck into 7 up on the high side. They are 3 wide for P number 3. 23, 79, 18, 70, 53, and the 27 all in this. But does the 7 have this sealed off? Will Ryan Crooks go ahead and pull up and out? Will he have any help to go with him? Kurt, they're going into turns 3 and 4. What's it going to be, sir? 1 down low.
Not going to make it. Oh, big wreck.
Big wreck behind, but Ryan Crooks with no issue behind. He just saw calamity in his rear view, and it's going to be Byron Jones bringing up the rear with Peyton Davis. Ryan Crooks takes a shootout at Daytona.
Said to watch out for that 1. He was coming.
Yes, you did.
And look at Byron going from 18th to 2nd on that final restart of the green-white checkered.
How about that? Let's see if we can go back.
How did he make it through there?
Yeah, let's actually jump on board with Byron. Let's kind of take a look from his gearbox, and let's see if we can replay that.
And he's got a damaged truck too.
It is it's not showing him. Okay, let's go back here and we'll stop this. Nope, it's not going to play out. So we'll just keep it as is. We'll go ahead and bring it back live. Let's get up to Ryan Crooks, because this burnout is all about him. He's throwing it through the grass just like Earnhardt. Well earned.
Pete, I wish you could see this replay. It's Byron somehow squeaked through, went to the bottom, went through the apron, came up or back up the track, turned somebody, a pink and black car, and then went around an orange truck through 4 and came through the front stretch as P2. That's I wish you could see this replay. It's nuts. I don't know how he was able to time it, but he did. And actually, there was a truck that went right over top of his truck as he tried to turn down the apron. Oh, it's the 32, a red and black truck. He turns him in turn 3 as he comes back up the track and then goes right around the 84.
I'll tell you what, Ryan Crooks, he's going to go ahead and park it right there at the start stripe. He's going to collect the first green, the first checkered flag of this season. He came out, points didn't mean a thing, and he's going to go ahead and grab the W, and this has got to give him a whole lot of momentum, a whole lot of confidence as he's going to head into Daytona next week. One hell of a race for Mr. Crooks.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Byron in 2nd, Peyton in 3rd. Hayslip came up to 4th. Chris Wally came up to 5th. Vincent Short in that 15 that we just seen in an instant back before that green-white checkered there, he made it back up to 10th. Cook Quick, who was really, really coming on the outside there with a big run, he finishes out in 7th. Aaron Smith, the 2nd, comes home 8th. Brian McCann in the 3 makes it back to 9th, and David Trumbley rounds out the top 10, Pete. But this thing was, I mean, if you're not ready for Daytona next week, this should have showed you how much these guys are ready.
Yeah, and you know what? There were 25 to 30 trucks out here tonight. Next week there will be at least another 10 to 15 trucks that are ready to kick off season 6 in this IROC Challenge Series. Absolutely cannot wait. All right, ladies and gents, please stay right where you are. I promise we will be right back with interviews from at least top 2, possibly our top 3. We'll be right back. All right, guys and gals, thank you very much for hanging out. Definitely appreciate it. We got Peyton Davis, driver of the number 84, up 16 spots in his Spartan Transportation Chevy Silverado. Peyton, one hell of a race all night long. Here you are, bringing it home P number 3. So your first podium, I mean, tonight doesn't really mean a whole lot as far as points and all that, but it gives you an idea of what kind of competition you're going to go up against next week when we kick off the season officially. How you feeling about the race? What did you see in your rear view for that monstrous wreck at the end? And how you feeling about your competition? Peyton, you got a copy, sir? All right, sounds like
he's so excited Pete had to step away for a second.
Maybe, or either that or it might be.
Go ahead, I got you.
Okay, there we go. Were you able to hear any of that, sir?
No, sir, just the end of it.
All right. Well, no. First off, congratulations on this podium. I mean, obviously tonight didn't mean a whole lot. It's just kind of the shootout, getting ready for season 6 in the IROC Challenge Series. We didn't really get to talk to you this evening or talk much about you. 84 definitely running strong. Here you are. Talk to us about that last lap, everything that you saw in your rear view. What do you think about the race tonight? What do you think about your competition in this series?
It was a wild night for sure. It was just had to miss that big one. That's the biggest thing.
Swats?
Well, Peyton, I mean, obviously most of this race is uneventful. Everybody looks for the last 20 laps. After that 20 laps, chimed off on the scoring pylon, it seemed like the energy just changed. Everybody's aggressiveness, everybody's give and take went down to the minimum. Where were you at as you were coming through that turn 3 and 4? We saw you get past at the exit of 4 by the 19, but it looked like you had some damage on there. And then does this give you any confidence with knowing that this race is pretty much a flip of a coin on whether or not you even make it to the end of the race as is? With next week being a actual points race, the aggression will probably be even higher than it was tonight since it didn't really matter. But, where does it rank for confidence going into the next race?
It definitely boosts my confidence for sure. As I'm new to this, so it worked out well tonight, and had a lot of fun doing it.
All right, well, definitely, big congrats. Definitely, hopefully, throughout the race tonight, you found somebody that you'll be able to work with next week, or maybe you can go over to somebody and say, hey, man, when I was pushing, I really liked how steady of a line you were holding. Can we work together, and maybe we'll be at the end where we can fight it out amongst ourselves. Did you happen to form up any kind of conversations like that tonight, or are you going to be going into next week completely blind, just seeing who will work with you?
Oh, no, I got a few buddies I think we'll get together, and we worked a little bit tonight with, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, buddy. Again, congratulations on this P3. Way to keep all 4 wheels on the ground. We'll see you next week at Daytona.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are absolutely welcome. All right, so Kurt, let's go ahead and bring on up driver 19. He started P3, so he's up 1 spot, finishing podium, the one and only Byron Jones. Byron, first off, congratulations. One hell of a move between you and Ryan Crooks to come up through the middle like that. You gained a couple more spots than he did. He was able to hold back. But in the end, after all the adversity that you fought through, here you are with a top 2, your first ever race in the Challenge Series after stepping away from the mic last season. How did your race go, young man?
Oh, I tell you, Pete, it was a whirlwind. From being able to start up in the front in P number 3, dropping back to a little bit when that big wreck happened, and then to falling a lap down, getting my lucky dog, coming back, starting P18, avoiding the big final wreck. I can't tell you, it's so great. But in the same boat, I'm like, I don't know if I want to start P2 for the big one. But hey, you know what? It's a good start, good momentum mover. I can't wait to see what's going to happen for this season. And it's just this 19 so far. It's seeming a very lucky number early on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. And that the paint scheme that you've been rocking for this series, absolutely phenomenal. It absolutely pops, man. I'm extremely happy for you. I sent out a tweet when I mentioned that you're going to be stepping aside to go ahead and get behind the wheel, and that Kurt was going to come on up and fill your shoes. Obviously, we've all known each other for quite a while. Congratulations on this P2. Before Kurt takes it over, I got to ask you, what kind of momentum does this give you for when it really matters next week?
Hopefully, moving momentum. Obviously, now I've sort of established who I can work with, who's sort of the ones maybe to avoid pushing, who's the ones that I need to push, as well as I sort of know once you start seeing clusters, something's going to happen. That's when it's time to back off, maybe fall back to the back of the pack, hoping that something, if it does happen, you got a chance to break and brace for impact if you have nowhere to go. So, I don't know, man. I'm pumped. I can't wait to see what this season's going to bring. Hopefully next week at Daytona, we'll be right here, except we'll be talking from Victory Lane.
There you go. Curtis.
Well, Byron, I was kind of wanting to tell you made a bad choice on jumping on track, but obviously you made the right choice. We were looking at you there, working with Ryan Crooks. You were working your way through. I kind of was calling you as you were coming through, going to the middle. I thought you were going to the outside at one point, but you went to the middle with Ryan. You went all the way up to 7th, I think, on the outside row, and then got involved in that big wreck there where somebody got turned from a bad push. And like you said, you got put down 1 lap down. You got the lap back on the green-white checkered. You go all the way back to 18th. And I mean, when you go back and listen to the broadcast, I called it. Coming through the green-white checkered, I was like, watch for the 18. If he can get somebody to go through we might see him push for the front. I've seen you do it in the past from iRacing Super Speedway, Daytona, Talladega, at a couple different series, and here you are in P2. I went back and watched the replay. I don't know how you timed it, if it was luck or if you just figured out how to go there, but you went to the bottom. You made it through the big one as they were up in the catch fence, spinning around and flipping. You come back up on track and you make contact with the 32. Do you think maybe the 32 is going to be a little unhappy about that, and that carries over into the season, or he knows now how you're going to be when you come up on the track? I know there's nothing you could have done. You were full speed. You can't slow the truck down that quick, but that does come out of there at a turn 3 and 4 where he was kind of positioned P3, but you went right round the 84 as well to take P2.
Yeah, I was going to try to see and figure out who it was. I was going to talk with them after the race to say, hey, I saw the wreck happening. I backed up on my brakes, moved down towards the bottom, and then I tried to come back up on the track, and I tried to stay in that bottom lane. But I also saw that other guy, when I went back, saw the replay, he was coming down for that same lane as well. So I think it was just a racing problem where we both came into each other. But yeah, I'm definitely going to reach out to him, extend my apologies. Of course, last lap, and as my dad has the shirt, white flag, everybody knows the rules. And from there, unfortunately, that we just came together and made a little bit of contact.
I mean, Byron, obviously you've run a lot. Pete and I have known you. We've obviously been racing with you since you were like 15 or 16, something like that. But, I mean, how much confidence does this give going into this? This is your first race in this series. You were in the broadcast booth last season, first race in the truck, first race at Daytona with this whole new group of guys. You don't really know a whole lot of them, maybe a few of them from different leagues, but you don't know a whole lot of them. What kind of confidence does this give you before next week's race where it actually matters?
I mean, it gives a great deal of confidence, a ton for knowing who I can work with, who I can't work with, as well as just trying not to make any enemies. That's the number one goal I'm going for this entire season, because enemies always seem to come back at the worst times. So my plan is to glide through, make friends with everybody, try to sit back, relax, and don't over push it. But obviously we saw tonight towards the end of the race, I did over push it just a tad, but sometimes it's racing and sometimes you got to get all you can.
I know where you've come from when you started on iRacing, when I met you clear back, I think, on Xbox before iRacing. So I know where you've come from driving. You've obviously flipped that 180 degrees. You're a top driver, in my opinion, in most leagues that you enter at all times. You're a guy to watch. And I wish you the best of luck this season. And I really appreciate you jumping into the series, the race, and letting me come up here and be with Pete. So thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. I can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast of you two. You guys always kill it whenever you're up in the booth together.
All right, Byron, good job again, dude. Congratulations. Way to keep the shiny side up on that thing all night long. And yeah, maybe we'll be talking to you again next week when it really, really matters. All right, so Curtis, let's go ahead and bring the driver of the hour, the one and only Ryan Crooks, driver of the number 1, up 8 spots, and his Silverado comes in tops. He had to make some big moves to be able to get where he needed to be when all hell broke loose behind him. Ryan, it's repeat, and Kurt, I got to ask you, what did your rear view look like coming to the checkers?
Yeah, it looked like all hell broke loose. I think because it did. Yeah, I was on the high side pushing the 7, and we didn't have much help up there, so I was thinking we were going to have a hard time. And I think the whoever was pushing, I think the 79 down low, made it 3, and I knew then if I could just stay connected to him and not lift, we could clear. And I was just dead set on pushing the 7, but a bunch of guys behind us they had a train coming, and I looked up in my rearview mirror and I was like, oh man, I got to go down and block. And when I went down to block, I think the 7 was just late coming down, and I got up under him and I was like, oh, we're going to wreck. And we didn't. And then all of a sudden all hell broke loose, and I saw it in my rearview mirror. And it looked like everybody in the field. So I felt pretty good. Didn't lift, but yeah, it felt pretty good knowing that it was locked up. Normally in these things, you never know until you cross the line. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It absolutely looked like a lot of fun. You and Byron really made your way through the middle in order to give you a little bit of an advantage with the track position. I was kind of surprised at the way that the hole opened up. I mean, Byron made a little bit of the hole himself. There was a little bit of contact between him and I believe it was the 3 maybe, sending him up a little bit closer to the wall than he probably would have liked. But you guys were able to hold on to it and keep that run going, bringing you to about P4 and I believe him to about P2 or something very, very close to that. At what point did you latch on to someone and say, yeah, I got this?
Yeah, so I got caught up in one of the first wrecks. Had a little bit. I think I had like 30 seconds of optional, so I didn't want to use my fast repair. I knew I needed to save it, so I came down and took that. When I restarted, I saw Byron back in the back with me, so I immediately let him know because it's hard once you get 2x2. Daytona is just so tight. It's you can go 3x3. It's really hard. Everybody has to hold a good line, and I knew we needed to make some leeway, and I raced with Byron before, so got a lot of respect for him. And I sent him a message. I let him know. I was like, hey, if they stay 2x2, you go 3, and I'm stuck on you. Wherever you go, I'll go. And man, we came from the back and made it all the way up. I know about to the top 5 before I think there was a bad push. Somebody got turned.
Yep.
Got caught up in that, and I thank goodness I saved my fast repair. So came down and took it, and thankfully I was running. I think I was battling for 4th or 5th, and then the last caution came out. And when it did, I was in P4, so I knew at that moment I was going to restart behind the 7 on the high side. So I knew at that point I had a really good shot. I knew if I just stuck on his bumper and pushed him, I'm real confident in my pushing ability. So I knew I watched him race. He holds a really good line, the 7. So I knew if I can just stick on his bumper, not lift. Once you lift, you just get an air bubble. It gets hard to get back to him unless you got somebody right on the back of you. So yeah, it just worked out. Stayed on the back of him, pushed. Thankfully, the guys down in the low line, they raced it out, which killed their momentum. We got clear, and then from that point, like I said, I was just dead set on pushing him. I didn't want to lift, and thankfully, yeah, the line behind me came. I thought they were going to go high. They stayed low. I made the move down low, and the 7, I think he was just a little late blocking, and I got up under him. So, yeah, it worked out great.
Curtis.
Well, I mean, I can't say I didn't see this coming, Pete. We talked about Ryan being an SMB and how I've seen him in so many different vehicles, being at the front. Watched him go through the middle, like you said, with Byron. And I called it there on the green-white checkered, saying to watch for the 1 behind the 7, that if you've seen any sort of gap, you were going to go for it. And, I mean, you bring it home 1 in the 1 truck. But I'm more curious about the incident that Byron got caught up in earlier on there that put him a lap down. How did you squeak through there? Because you were on his back bumper in, I believe, 8th or 9th when he was in 7th, right there on the high side. When everybody got turned from the bottom, I think the 99 turned, I believe that was a 15, Pete, or somebody else. But they came right up into you guys. How did you squeak through there with no damage?
Yeah, well, I certainly got damaged, but it wasn't too bad, and thankfully I saved that fast repair. But yeah, we were coming pretty good, and I told him, I was like, if you can go 3, go 3, and it's really weird. It was like as soon as the cars would bottom out and get on the straightaway, whether the front stretch or the back stretch, the high line would kind of drift up towards the wall, which typically you don't see. Normally, like at Talladega, you don't see it. Sometimes at Daytona, you don't. Normally, you stay packed down on the bottom and just try to cut off the air down low and keep them pinned down. But yeah, the high line kept coming up to the wall, so I was like, I noticed him. He immediately started going to the middle, and I was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. So I just stayed on the back of him, and yeah, we were coming off of 2. And a couple cars got turned. They started coming back on the track, and I immediately just checked. I immediately full brake, just locked him up. And yeah, it was really weird. It was like I had guys under me and a guy on the outside of me, and everybody was hitting each other around me. I just got a little fender damage. It wasn't anything bad, and thankfully I had saved that fast repair. But yeah, it's just a lot of luck. These things, luck goes a long way in these races. So just having people you feel comfortable working with in those situations. You're just racing so tight and trying to take everything you can, especially at the end of these races. There's not much lifting. You really don't cut people breaks. So yeah, thankfully it worked out, and Byron was great to work with. Look forward to working with him next week.
Well, buddy, I can't agree more there, Pete, with him. It's a lot of luck with the plate races. One of the things when you just mentioned that, I was kind of, when you and Byron decided to go from the back, I mentioned that there looked like there was about a car gap between the bottom line and the top line. I couldn't figure out why. Do you think that is a precursor of what's going to happen next week? Because normally, like you said, everybody's down on the door on the bottom line, cutting off the air, trying to get the outside line to go. to where the outside line's then available 3 wide. And I couldn't figure out why nobody was taking the 3 wide chance to go to the outside, but it's because the middle was open. So do you think that's just a precursor on how people are going to drive? I only see that at iRacing Super Speedway myself, where guys go towards that outside wall to create the gap and get off the cars and carry the momentum. But
Yeah.
it seemed to be happening tonight a lot.
Yeah, you try to, especially super speedway racing, you in the corners, if you're on the high line, you really want to try to squeeze, kill the momentum off, and then, typically you like to get away from them, just normally not all the way up to the wall. So that's kind of one of the first races I've experienced where, like we were stuck, probably 7 or 8 rows deep, and the checkups were just so huge, and I was just thinking, if we could get a lane up to the high side, then we could make some leeway. But yeah, there's just no room. I mean, everybody kept, on the straightaways and the backstretch. Once the car unloads, I feel like naturally, and also too with whoever's pushing the person in the front, the trucks just want to nosedive to the right. And like I talked with Pete earlier in the race, I adjust my offset a little bit to try to just compensate a little bit for that push, because of course you're gonna have to get pushed if you want to be competitive. But yeah, I mean, the holes were in the middle, which is, and there's a lot of trust that goes into that, because I mean, when you stick your nose in there, you're just hoping the guy on the high side, gives you the room, and near the end of these races, that's not always given. But it's really hard to pass. It's 2x2. Once it goes 2x2, unless you've got somebody in a group of people that's willing to commit to kind of like how me and Byron did, it's really hard to pass. Track position is just, you want to be up front. I mean, you really can control your destiny and ensuring, you're there at the end, the further near the front you stay. But yeah, it's just really weird tonight. Tonight the holes are in the middle, and you can take them if you want, but there's a lot of risk that goes along with it. You just want to do it with somebody you got a lot of confidence in.
Buddy, I definitely gotta congratulate you one more time. I know you're gonna have to get your sponsor information out there very, very soon. How much will this help you? As the last question, how much will this help you next week, knowing your competition? You are new to this series. You didn't race at all in season 5. You picked up the invite. You ran with it, and you've got a lot of backing. How is this going to help you to possibly grab the trophy and know that you've got a great start towards that 5K payday at the end of the season?
Yeah, very good point. Yeah. It's a lot of confidence, just kind of getting a feel for the guys that you feel comfortable working with. Super Speedway is just you can't do anything by yourself, and it's kind of hard to pick and choose who you line up, is in front of you and who's behind you. It's kind of a luck of a draw, but, the more laps you turn in those situations, there's just no space. You just kind of build a confidence level with who you're around. So definitely helps you build a lot of confidence. And, the trucks, I spend a lot of time racing the trucks, so definitely more time than any other vehicle on here. So once I saw the league that the guys were putting on in the truck series, I immediately knew I had to grab it and go with it. So really confident, really excited about the season, everything to come. Definitely thanks to Chris Wally for putting this on, and Spartan Transportation, my team at EMGG. We got some really cool paint schemes rolling out, especially in the SMB series and this hot rod tonight. So yeah, just really excited to what's to come. And hopefully next week, you never know, you can never predict these things, but you can always just try to manage to put yourself in what you think is the best situation to avoid the accidents that are going to happen, just depending on when they do and if you make it through. But yeah, really confident, looking forward to next week, and excited as to what's to come.
All right, buddy. Congratulations one more time, Ryan. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you next week at Daytona, as well as throughout the 34-week season that's coming up in SNB. Way to keep the shiny side up all night long, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, Pete. And I appreciate you, Kurt.
Well, Kurt, along with all of his sponsors, of course, we got to thank the sponsors of the IROC Challenge Series, talking about R&R Racewear. R&R Enterprises is an apparel and die-cast company based in Valley Park, Missouri. The company currently operates in a state-of-the-art facility and employs over 25 people. R&R began as an awesome collectibles and an 800-square-foot die-cast store in 1995. After a few years, the company became became a distributor for Action Performance before venturing into the shirt printing and embroidery in 2009. And of course, the one and only Hot Dog Stand podcast on IROC TV through Roku. Go on over, keep an eye out for these guys and all the visitors and all the stories that are told week in and week out. I promise you, with some of the drivers they've had on there and some of the stories that have been told, it is always upbeat and always entertaining. And then of course we've got Spartan Transportation, logistics through innovation, dedication, and technology. As Spartan Logistics Management, you will find a combined 75 years worth of experience among our logistics specialists. Through our team, you can rest assured that your freight will always be managed safely and with the highest of priority. We are constantly innovating to refine our processes to ensure that you and your customers are given only the highest quality of service. A dedicated logistics specialist will always be readily available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to provide you with quality, reliable services, never leaving you with unanswered concerns or questions. Through technology, you never have to question your freight has been picked up, delivered, or billed. We will provide you with full service tracking from start to finish. So we definitely appreciate all of the sponsors here in the Spartan IROC Challenge Series. Kurt, it's been one hell of a night. Thank you very much for coming up, stepping up, keeping me company, keeping everybody out there entertained right along. What did you think of your first IROC Challenge race?
I mean, it was definitely entertaining, definitely fun. It was good to see a few new faces out on track from the normal schedule that I have with the different series. But it was also kind of not surprising to see a certain couple guys that I do know in this series to be the ones that come home first and second. So I'm very interested to see how this thing goes next week. And like I said, if tonight was any kind of precursor for the amount of adrenaline that the viewers and ourselves up in the booth, along with the guys in the driver's seat, I think next week's going to be even worse. We might have to have a couple EMTs on standby for people coming out of these trucks, because it is going to be fantastic next week, along with the full season, Pete. It's going to get harder and harder for these guys, and more aggressive each week, because every point's going to matter.
Every point will matter, and every sponsor matters. Definitely appreciate everybody. And again, thank you very much for everybody that came out, hung out, chatted up, kept both me, Kurt, and each other company out there in chat, either in YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and of course on Roku through IROC TV. On the bottom of the scoring pylon, you see the IROC TV logo. Please go to your favorite Roku TV or your Roku streaming device and look up that logo. It's a free service. It is rebroadcast in 4K, and enjoy. So until next week, again, I am Repeat. That's the one and only Swats, and we'll see you again very soon.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.